2024 has been a rather big year for Bring Me the Horizon, releasing a brand new record, part 2 of the Post-Human series with Next Gen, the follow-up, of course, to Survival Horror from back in 2020. And with the new record, obviously the band has been very busy touring all over the world with a handful of shows to support the release throughout 2024. And they already have a number of shows announced for 2025, including an appearance at Reading and Leeds. And just recently, Bring Me the Horizon frontman Oli Sykes was doing an interview with NME to talk about the upcoming Reading and Leeds appearance, as well as the band's future plans, when he said that Bring Me the Horizon needs to go away for a bit and take a brief hiatus. When he was asked if the band needs to, quote, properly slam the brakes on first before releasing the next part of the Post-Human series, because I guess he had previously said that the new music involves a sense of departure spiritually, mentally, and physically. Here's what he said when he was asked about it. "I think so. We need time to recharge our batteries and have that time away because we haven't. The last time we stopped was when we were forced to for lockdown. Even then, we were still going and making stuff. It doesn't feel like the band has had a significant amount of time off. It's going to get to a point where it starts to affect the band and its creativity. I went off and worked with some producers on some stuff for the new record, and I'm just so fried from Next Gen and in that world that I really need to have a proper cutoff point to let the dust settle a bit. Now it's not just about the music. The story and the lore have become so integral and meaningful. If I don't stop to try and zoom out and get the bigger picture, then it will affect all of that stuff. These records need to be very clear and separate records, otherwise there's a risk of each bleeding into one another too much. To me, Next Gen has a very different sound to Survival Horror, and I want the next one to be a complete new era aesthetically, sonically, and in every respect. It's important that we let Bring Me the Horizon go away for a bit." You know, I think he's absolutely right and deserving of a break. Bring Me the Horizon has been nonstop for years now, it feels like. And burnout is very much a real thing. Obviously, it can stunt creativity. So, definitely understanding there. But while we're on the topic of Bring Me the Horizon, the hiatus news, of course, comes just a couple of days after the band was in the news. They saw a little bit of outrage from fans over this video posted by Bring Me the Horizon showing Oli holding a camera to his face. And then on the video screen, when you're at the show, I guess this camera, it'll make him look like a demon or whatever up on the screens. And people taking issue with the use of AI, which I guess really I would probably argue this is more augmented reality. But the whole thing, I think, is just so stupid because, for one, I mean, it's basically a Snapchat filter, which is something that most people have used before. It's probably a majority of the Bring Me the Horizon fan base, are on Snapchat or whatever app. So it's not like this is something new that the average person doesn't use practically on a daily basis. And for two, we've really already seen this in various forms in recent years. I mean, to me, and I don't, I'm not an expert on AI or augmented reality or anything like that, but I mean, to me, I would imagine it's really the same exact thing as you go to a concert, they got the band up on the screens, but there's, a filter over it with, rain or fire or, whatever the hell's going on the screen. That obviously isn't there in real life. So it's really no different. Honestly, I think it's pretty cool. I think if Bring Me the Horizon, or any band for that matter, if they were going to use AI to generate something that they wanted you to pay for, whether it was, merch, like a t-shirt design or whatever, obviously music, something along those lines where they wanted you to come out of pocket to pay for something that was, created purely, or at least even in part, created by AI, that's one thing. I am totally against that, as I think most people would be. And I guess to some extent, I'm sure some people would argue, well, they do want me to pay money. I'm buying a ticket to see the show. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you're really just buying a ticket to see the band live. Any production is really just a bonus. And again, I mean, it's not like this is totally... It's not like it's purely AI generated. I mean, the camera is, I'm really not a tech guy. I'm going to sound like a moron trying to explain this, but the camera is just essentially tracking him and then just putting a filter over what he's doing. It's not like it's, creating something out of thin air. I mean, that's not what's happening here. I think it's pretty cool. I think, it's a ridiculous thing to be upset with the band about. I mean, it's stupid. I don't know what the extent of the backlash is. When I saw it, I mean, I didn't even think it was worth doing a video on because I really just didn't think it was that big of a deal. But, regardless, I think it's cool. But nonetheless, hopefully we'll, Bring Me the Horizon will be back soon. They do already have a handful of shows, like I said, announced for 2025. With Oli saying that they need to go on a break, I don't know if they're going to be adding any more shows. I guess that remains to be seen. But also in that NME interview, he was also asked about, a potential timeline for new music. NME specifically asked if 2026 would be a good sort of estimated period, I guess, for new music. And he said that it could potentially even be longer than that. So we might be waiting another 2-3 years before we get new Bring Me the Horizon music. But that's all I got for you for right now. Thanks so much for hanging out. Feel free to drop a like and subscribe below if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time.